this track in particular is one that's familiar to you. You've raced on it before. Do you feel like, at least, even if you're still adjusting to the series, you have at least that back knowledge to help you out?
Yes, and it's a track that I enjoy a lot. It's one of my favorite tracks. I have great memories from 2007 when I was racing Formula BMW USA. I was actually fighting my way from the back of the field in one of the races, and I got up to second, and we finished with a very small margin at the start and finish line. So it was a very enjoyable moment, a great race that I have very close in my memory, and coming back quite many years after, 10 years after, I'm very, excited to get into an IndyCar. Very powerful, very grippy, really nice racing car, and it's really a nice experience to do every lap in this track.
So, a couple weeks from now, you'll be racing at Iowa Speedway, which is obviously an oval. What are your thoughts on adjusting to that experience and learning a different type of racecraft?
Yes, I'm aware that it's completely different, and fortunately I will have a test on Tuesday to prepare, to get to know the reality of an oval, because you can review a lot of data, you can prepare on the theory, but it's always, when you get to the reality of driving, it's a completely different story. So I'm really looking forward to Tuesday. I'm very sure that I will enjoy it, and that I will enjoy that kind of racing. So yeah, I'm excited to get to know, to expand my racing knowledge and to know how to race in ovals.
Wonderful. Questions for Esteban. Wolfgang, we do have a microphone.
Yes. Esteban, what is the biggest challenge, or what's the biggest challenge when you made the move from Formula One to IndyCar? Is there anything what you can take an advantage from the Formula One business to the IndyCar business?
Well, here the cars are quite standard, but in the same way, you have a lot of flexibility on changing the setup around, and as a driver, you have much more influence on the setup of the car together with the engineers in order to, as a team, achieve the right direction of the setup of the car during the weekend. That's something that in Formula One is quite, let's say, quite fixed. Once the car is developed, you kind of, fine-tune around it, but in IndyCar you really have a very big window of opportunities to work with the setup, and also working around the conditions of the track. You have many categories racing, many different tire rubbers in the track, so that's quite a pretty challenge for me, not knowing the car completely, so it's something I'm working very hard to get up to speed with that.
Other questions? Yes, Dave.
How different is it to come in mid-season rather than sort of, what are the challenges of that rather than starting from the start?
Well, it's obviously a challenge. You have many competitive teams and many competitive drivers at IndyCar, many with a lot of experience, many years. And obviously coming in the middle of the season just like this, it's obviously a challenge, but I am a racer. I like to compete. This is my passion, and I'm ready for this challenge.
And what do you get? I mean, you have a teammate who's only got a half year more experience than you. What can you take from Ed?
Quite a lot, and also from Sebastian. I've been in contact with him, been in contact with a few drivers to try to get some tips, to get a feeling of what are their thoughts, their experiences, to help me, get quicker into the knowledge of the car in general, and the series and the competition here.
Thanks.
Other questions, Tony?
Esteban, how nice was it to have a test day here last week, to where, as opposed to Detroit, it was like first time ever in the car in a terribly bumpy street course there?
It was fantastic. I mean, obviously to throw myself into Detroit was quite a challenge, one of the most difficult tracks in the calendar, with no testing, straight in the weekend. I think, it was a very interesting experience. Now that I come to Elkhart Lake with a test behind my belts before the weekend, it's great, and I'm really enjoying a lot. I'm very happy of where I am today, with the challenge I have ahead of me, with the future ahead. And I would like to explore more that feeling of enjoyment here in IndyCar. And I'm just going to go through it. I'm going to live every moment. I'm going to focus on the present and see what we can do in the future.
Any other questions? Joey.
Adrian Fernandez, somebody that raced in IndyCar for a number of years. The fans down in Mexico really revered him. How much influence has he had as far as, or how much has he helped you along this process up to this point?
Well, he's a good friend from many years in the past. I watched his racing as a fan, and then I watched his racing and got in contact with him when I became a racing driver. And we've been sharing experiences since the beginning of my career. He has a lot of knowledge of IndyCar, Champ Car, and racing it, itself in many different categories. So, yeah, that connection to IndyCar from him always kept me very curious about, racing in America. So, by the time there was this opportunity, I obviously contacted him and I asked for his opinion, and he was very positive about it. So it was great to, to share something with a Mexican, a friend that I have that has a lot of experience, so that I can get up to speed as quick as possible.
Yes, Kevin.
Would you like to see an IndyCar race in Mexico? What do you think the prospects are for that?
Oh, this would be the ideal situation. Obviously, I enjoy racing in my home country, and why not? I mean, I think the sporting side is the most important, and today is where I can really do a lot, is where I can focus, and together with this involvement, my involvement in IndyCar, I'm sure that the possibilities in the future for a Mexican race will increase.
Yes, Matt.
What can you tell us about the contract issues that kind of crept up after you did Detroit, and what was that process like, trying to make sure that everything was tidied up to where you can run IndyCar for the rest of the year?
Well, I saw that from the driver's perspective, from the sporting side. There was no contract issues. Simply a conversation, that I wanted to explore IndyCar, and here we are. I mean, there's really nothing to talk about from there. I really enjoyed a lot Formula E. The races I did there is a great championship. It has a great future ahead. Very innovative concept. But I said, when this opportunity came up, I wanted to explore it, and we did the test in Detroit, and it was quite a good and enjoyable moment. So we came here, and we are going forward.
I want to go back to a tweet that you put out yesterday after your announcement that not only were you excited for the opportunity, but excited to represent your home country. And when you talk about the possibility of racing there, you sound very excited. What has the response been from Mexican fans, from Mexican media on your participation in the series without another Mexican full-time driver in the series?
It has been huge. A lot of Mexicans are very happy that I am in IndyCar. And I feel honored to be in this position representing Mexico in IndyCar. It has a lot of, as you all know, Mexico has a big history behind in racing in America, in IndyCar itself. And I'm looking forward to continue that history.
Any final questions? Yes, Katie.
You mentioned you had a chance to talk to Sebastian. What are some suggestions he's given you overall for the season, and then also specifically here?
Well, mainly a lot of conversations with him were related to the technical side of the car. In order for me to understand how the car is working, how the car is evolving through a weekend, and it helped me a lot in Detroit. It's helping me a lot here. Obviously, we had the test, which allowed me to, and allow us as a team to prepare better. So yeah, I mean, race by race will be clear and clear, but Sebastian is always there, involved, kind of following all the meetings, following the practice sessions, the qualifyings, and yeah, it's great to be in touch. Sebastian is a great driver. I really been following him from the past, so yeah, we are here and trying to do my best to adapt quickly to the racing here.
Dave?
Sorry. If I could get back to Ed and your relationship with him. When you get thrown into a situation like this, how do you sort of acclimate yourself to a new teammate, learn what he likes, what your similarities and differences are? How do you build that relationship?
It's all about sharing information after each session. Is about contributing. Obviously, he has more experience than me in IndyCar, and he has proven to be quite good here. So, Ed, we've been always together in the meetings. Obviously, me trying to understand what is his way of working through the weekend with the setup of the car, and in my case, I'm very open because obviously I have no experience in IndyCar. So being always with a very open approach, trying to get as much information as I can, absorb everything, and learn as much as possible. I have a great team of engineers, which give me a lot of confidence. And I think the work that we are doing together, it's very good and very enjoyable.